MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Hey, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Ramana Annamaraju. I'm the host. We are a very interesting guest today. I'm going to talk about that. But I came from a small village. Actually, my father is a doctor there. He's a village doctor, small town village doctor. So he's practicing a kind of a holistic health. A lot of times at the time English medicine came in, we want to be, in the United States, 58 specialties came out after that. So they divided the human body into 58 segments, So whatever the reasons are, it is a good specialty is good because it provided a lot of insights into the body. But same time, it belongs to one body, and we forgot about that. So we went so far away from that we are treating a human body, we are treating an organ that is going to be big, challenging nowadays, and the patients are realizing it, doctors are realizing it. She is one of those doctors, Dr. Beatriz Olson. She's a Middlebury, Connecticut. She's joining from us, and she's born in Cuba. Let me welcome her. Welcome, Dr. Let me bring her. Sorry. Welcome, Dr. Beatriz Olson. Welcome to the MedBix Webcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have been invited and to be in this conversation to expand healthcare and make the world better.
Can you give me a little bit about your background, where you were born, and how did you end up as an endocrinologist?
So my story is a journey which began with my parents. My father is a pediatrician and my mother is a pharmacist. And I was born in Cuba in 1959, 4 months after Castro came into power. And my father refused to join the communist government. They took his $200 that he had saved for a baby carriage, and they confiscated that to be common good. So my father refused to join communism, and we got kicked out of Havana to another province, and he was separated from our family for 7 years. So eventually we left Cuba to go to Spain before our quota came to come to America. So I came into America as a teenager. And I was a healthy weight teenager, but after eating the American diet for a year and going into puberty, not being allowed to play outside, totally inactive and totally stressed out, I developed obesity. And I vowed I was so abused by my family and everybody because they said that I should control myself better. And I learned that I needed to figure this out. I needed to help a lot of people in addition to me to return back to my healthy weight. So I became an endocrinologist. I went to Columbia University. Then I went for my medical school. Then I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I became an expert. I was the first one to describe that oxytocin, the hormone that lets milk let down for women, regulates appetite in humans. And then I went to the National Institutes of Health, where I continued to do further research on water and appetite and a reproductive regulation. So I've spent an entire life understanding how we are, but I didn't understand mind-body medicine until a little bit later, which is the story of why I'm here, I think, for you, Ramana. And it is the fact that up to that point, I believed that if I worked really hard, if I pleased my parents, and foreigners, we have to try much harder. It's hard for people to accept us, especially because we're the other, we don't look like them, and then add to that being a Cuban woman. So it was a journey to get to all of these places that I got. But I began to understand the fact that my body is aligned to my mind, and that when my mind is sick, my body is sick, and vice versa, on various events in my experience. And in my book, Mind Body Secrets, I describe the story of being a chief resident where I'm about to present a case in front of 100 doctors. I know what I'm going to present. I feel highly confident. And there's an inside part of me that says, oh my God, you don't know what you're doing. You're incompetent. You are an imposter. And I passed out in front of 100 doctors right at the time of the start.
I don't mean to laugh at you.
I know, I know. I get why
I
you're
was
laughing.
frozen in the beginning days of my podcast. I just about to ask you the question that I read that about you, 100 people that you failed. What way failed? You passed out. I was frozen, first time when I was doing a podcast. Anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. So, you're trying to do a good job, but a part of you says, oh, you're not good enough. You're an imposter. Da, 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 da. So I pass out and then I wake up and nobody comes to help me and doctors are leaving the room. So the amazing learning lesson about that was that this was my clan. This is the doctor that I'm trained to be.
Yeah.
People that see me pass out and no one talks about it. It's embarrassing to talk about it. And I'm so ashamed. And my passing out shows that I'm obviously incompetent to do this work. So what I recognized is that the mind is so strong that it can capture your third part of your vagus nervous system and say, you're out of here, buddy. You are out of here. So I began to understand mind-body medicine at that time. And as I evolved, after I left the NIH, I started a practice. And none of my patients were like my academic learning, big universities, NIH. Everybody comes to universities and NIH with sick, defined disease, conventional disease. But when you're in a practice, people come to you asking, do I have an endocrine disease? Why do I feel sick? Do I have an endocrine disease? So that's how so I learned I couldn't help them because I wasn't trained. I was not trained. And that's when I met Deepak Chopra in 1997. And I learned about mind, body medicine, and Ayurveda. And that's when I learned, which is not taught in conventional medicine, that disease and health are like this, okay? This is health, this is disease. And it's a spectrum. When you go from health, lack of health, and then you become diseased. And that taught me that I could prevent disease if I understood the steps to getting there.
Beautifully explained. Spectrum. I like that. I'm going to use that. The spectrum is a great metaphor that actually for the diseases. Yeah.
And it's true. So that changed my entire life. Since then, I changed. I am a board calm down. But what I have learned is that we can prevent disease using integrative medicine and lifestyle changes. We can make a difference. But we can use conventional medicine when sickness is manifested. And to be able to offer both is the gift to healing. There's a sound, isn't it? Let me try the iPods. These are better. Can you hear? No. I don't know why there's a sound in the space. Oh, it went away. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
The
Can you hear
sound just
me?
went. Yes, the sound just went away. We had a period of interruption and
Yeah, maybe
sound,
Wi-Fi
which I
problem.
couldn't control or yours, but that is the space we work on. We have to be open to the possibilities that everything isn't perfect and beautiful at the
Let,
same time.
let me ask you, because before I go into the mind body thing, I want to ask you about the diabetes. Diabetes in the is infested. India. We never had. My parents don't know anything about diabetes. Now is everywhere. Is India is the biggest epicenter for the diabetes, and then here is also United States is going. What is the reason you think? What are the reasons? Is it food, or is it a lifestyle, or is it everything? So can you explain us a little bit why there is so much this disease, and can we cure it, or is there any, can we manage it very well, can we cure it?
So the story begins that we're ancestral humans. Our bodies are like chimpanzees and monkeys. Genetic changes happen over millennia.
Yes.
We were developed in an environment of scarcity and famines. Our brains are set up to seek food, know where it is, and like it and have it, because we may not have it other times when there is a terrible circumstance. We must be prepared to build fat when we can and use that fat when we have no food to be able to be pregnant or to be able to carry life. Remember, our whole existence is about the survival of the species. So,
Very well.
as we've moved forwards, our biology has not changed, okay? But the world has changed. So there are no famines now. There's food all the time. And our brain always wants it. But the problem is that the foods have changed. They're no longer what our body was meant to have. These foods are processed. The wheat is processed. The foods that are commercially made, that are accessible to poor people, that is, so the food, the food that is accessible to people is very processed. It's got many calories. It's got sugars that are not natural. And we gain weight. We want the food. And then slowly we become obese. We gain weight. As we gain weight, the body develops that is that the insulin doesn't work as well for our body. And then we slowly become diabetic. But we have an epidemic because of the food industry and our lifestyle and the fact that our biology is such. We're having a strange, I heard this before. Right? Right, can you hear me now? But I can't hear you. Okay, can you hear me now? I can't hear you. Can you talk to me? Ramana, I think the audio on your side may not be working. There's a sound signal that is coming off and on. But I apologize to all of our viewers because Romana and I had a great preparation for you. But we're sorry that the audio isn't quite right. Yeah, there's an underlying yes. Oh, it went away. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're back on.
Okay, good. You
The
know,
sound went
Safari,
away.
our platform is a very strange platform. They don't like Safari. They like a Chrome. Safari, we have problems with this platform, that I use because it's simultaneously broadcast in all the platforms. That's why
Okay.
I choose
Well,
this platform. But they're not good with the Safari, that Safari, the browser. So that is a problem we have.
but continuing and completing our conversation in this
Yeah,
part,
absolutely.
if
Go
it
ahead.
was interrupted, I would say that the fact that we're gaining weight and diabetes is a multifactorial problem which has to do with our biology, our inability for our brain to say no to wanting all the time, and to the need for the mind body connection, for the mind to get wisdom and to be able to say to the brain, I am really sorry. I am trying to lose weight right now. I do not want to eat those cupcakes that you want me to eat. Do you understand? Like we always want it. It's delicious. And if we lose weight, we want it more. It smells better, it's more delicious. Do you understand? So that we have to work with a mind that is ancestral, an environment that totally violates us in terms of the foods that it's giving us. Plus, we don't respect anymore the night-day cycle, which regulated the hormones for crying out loud. And the hormones regulate our weight. We also are under stress all the time. Early in life, we had big stress. The dinosaur was coming, they were killing us. And then we ran away and we got better. Now we got stress all the time, stress all the time. And
That is
we
absolutely.
don't we don't know how to turn it off, and it turns out that stress slows down metabolism. So if you, let's say, have 200 calories a day but you're stressed, you are using 150 less calories per day. If you're menopausal and you lose your estrogen, you're not using another 150 calories per day. So if you're stressed, menopausal, and you keep eating what you're doing, you're going to gain weight because you're eating the same, but the body's using less because the stress of the body changes things to protect energy, decrease energy utilization. And if you lose weight, it'll do the same. So the issue is, how can we do this? We now have medicines that help to address some of the issue. But if you don't learn how to change your lifestyle, if you don't learn how to eat well, the whole foods, the healthy foods, to sleep on a regular schedule, to walk every day and be active, and to address your stress with mindfulness, meditation, going to nature, and doing other things, and you don't surround yourself with people who support you, you're going to get sick. And we have a very lonely world right now. After COVID, we have a lot of loneliness and mental health issues. So add that to the equation, and then add to that the fact that doctors don't have time to talk to patients. And
So, what do you think of Ozempic? Everybody is talking about Ozempic. Just make a small comment on the Ozempic treatment.
I think Ozempic is a brilliant development in our armamentarium of helping people. Remember, Ramana, that if you're only 10 pounds overweight, it's not a big deal. If you're 20 pounds overweight or 25 or 30 pounds overweight, you may get pre-diabetes or diabetes. Okay? If you are 50 or 60 pounds overweight, then you develop diabetes. And once you start this process of inflammation and weight gain, you develop heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, a whole bunch of things that go with this, hypertension. So Ozempic is very interesting drug because it addresses the fact that humans only 10% of humans are successful at weight loss and keeping it off. Okay, so we got 90% of people that can't counteract the ancestral pressures and the environment that we're facing. So by using Ozempic, which is called an incretin, or what is called a GLP-1 agonist, and there's more advanced versions of this actually slows down how food is digested. So food stays in your stomach for a longer time, so you feel fuller faster. And it also works in other areas of your brain to make you decrease the food chatter. A lot of people think about food all the time. You're having dinner and you're thinking, what am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for lunch? And what am I going to have for dinner while you're eating the food? So there's this chatter all the time that the brain has once you're in this space. And these drugs decrease the chatter. And people for the first time are saying, oh my God, it's the first time I'm having this. So it's an incredible discovery in terms of, if we're talking about science and understanding the brain and understanding what neuronal activations are there that alter how we think, how we act, how we be. It's an incredible development. However, if you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't learn how to eat exactly like you're eating when you're using a GLP-1, you bounce back because fat cells don't go away when you lose weight. They stay there waiting to be fat.
So as you say that we changed we ancestral diet, we deviated from the ancestral diet that can cause a lot of problems, and then we have a lot of warfare you have with Ozempic and all the other lifestyle. We need to use all of them to, because we deviated from the ancestral diet, we need to use the new techniques as you are suggesting, change the lifestyle and processed food we are eating less, and then not thinking about food all the times. That's a great idea you're giving us. Thank you so much. Let me ask you now, let's go back to your story, personal story, that is your failed before 100 doctors. What motivated you to, after that, write and come back with a vigor and write a book?
Well, the book came from COVID. I was trying to write it for 20 years, but I thought I was going to die during COVID. And I
Really?
thought if I were going to die, what would I regret? And I had a list of regrets, but one of them is that I had not done enough for humanity. And I wanted to write my 30 years of information so that I could help the next generations. I could help my daughters prevent the sickness that is happening right now, which is preventable. It's preventable, but most people don't know the truth. Most people don't know what's going on and what they need to do to be helped. And it's kind of like they're listening to all sorts of gimmicks and stories. People are paying thousands of dollars for a pill to help them, where the truth is with wisdom and returning to our basic, what the body needs, returning to truly what the body needs. The body hasn't changed. Let's take care of the body and let's take care of the mind and stop the distractions. We live in our heads. We're constantly worried about what will happen, what will people say, what will people think, what am I going to do next? And being in your head removes you from the body. So I truly believe that we have to breathe. We have to connect with our bodies to realign, to be able to make intelligent decisions. If we're only in our minds, we're in the flight and fight mode, and no one has great consciousness or creativity in a flight and fight and fear state which we live right now.
So
It
what is
must
that secret?
change.
Go ahead. What is that secret, mind body secret? What is the secret that can you explain what that secret is?
The secrets are things that are unknown. Secrets are things that are kept in quiet, that only wise people know. It's like the says, the people, I would say the whirling derbies, the people that understood, the scholars of consciousness that meditated for days and had a different sense of humanity. I have that knowledge. I have that knowledge in the mind space, in the body space, and in the spiritual space. I've had spiritual experience that have transformed my life, knowing that there's something beyond ourselves that makes us be who we are and that we're deeply connected to each other. By giving this information, I arm humans. By giving these secrets, I arm humans and I empower them to take charge of their lives, activate their innate healing, and connect in a way that gives them a long lifespan and a satisfying and a good life with the people around them. And when we die, that's actually what we want. We want to know that we were loved, that we connected, and that we made a difference for others in the time that we had. It's a brief moment.
It is a beautiful. Well said. It reflects your soul. How beautiful that soul is. I'm going to talk about that. Just I'm going to present a topic. After that, I come back and ask you a little bit more. Actually, is a more of a holistic side of the physics I'm presenting. So you may like it. I'll bring you on the side next to me, and you can jump in anytime. You can comment. That is a Dr. Beatriz Olson, board certified integrative medicine and endocrinologist, board certified internal medicine, board certified in endocrinology. She's the author of the Mind and Body Secrets. Amazing soul. Inner side is wonderful. One of the very rare. But I'm going to talk about something very close to that kind of a area. That Mind Body Secrets is a secret of physics that I'm going to talk about a little bit today. Holograms. Rumi said that, let me bring her to the side. Both we will be on the side, watch it together. Okay. So she can jump in anytime, Dr. Olson, anytime you want to jump in. This
How
is
can I
Rumi.
jump in? How can I
Yeah.
jump in? Am I
No, just you can
speaking?
talk anytime you want to do.
Oh, I can talk. Okay.
You're already there on the side, you can
Okay,
see.
got you.
You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. That is a Rumi's big saying. It's one of my favorite ones that I love it. So that is the if this is the Tupac Shakur and Whitney Houston. They had Tupac Shakur is died long time ago. Is a rap artist. In 2012 in Coachella, he came out as a hologram. They made his entire song with hologram. Really amazing. It looks like a real human being there. The same thing in February 2020, Europe started, some company in Europe started a Whitney Houston's tour. Because of the pandemic, it didn't go. After that, they shut it down. But otherwise, he started a Whitney Houston holographic tour. That means they're not real; they're holographic tours. They started it. So those are the holograms what does hologram look like? If you take a picture of the hologram, it looks like a dirty carpet. It looks like a carpet. That is a picture of the hologram actually looks like. That's what they look. Whitney Houston looks like in the carpet in the middle, or Tupac Shakur looks like a carpet in the middle. That is a hologram picture. So it has a very strange properties. I tell you what the strange properties are. One is hologram bizarre property is 2D imaging is a two-dimensional photo is converts them into three-dimensional image. So that is a very strange, bizarre property. You take the two-dimensional plate and then convert them into three-dimensional image is not a reconstruction. It does actual three-dimensional image from the two-dimensional. That's a very bizarre property, but hologram has that capacity. The second bizarre property it has, you take that carpet looking photo, anywhere you shine the light, any part of the entire image comes. Every part contains the whole. Shine any part, just a small part. You can go all the way to 1 centimeter, like half a centimeter, it doesn't matter. However small it is, you can shine the light on that, it shows up the entire image. That is a very strange, counterintuitive thought. The whole contains the part, but here part contains the whole. It's a very counterintuitive quantum physics idea that is.
I think that just talking about this is truly what we're talking about when we talk about a mind-body experience. And it's like we are the mind, we are the body, we are the experience. We're deeply connected to each other. And just like buckyballs in quantum physics, When you choose to see things in different dimensions, you can. But when you're not looking, you can't see it. And this is the gift, actually, of understanding both physics, quantum, mind, and consciousness, that they can all be explained within one space. And that is this interconnectivity and energy that we have. And most people can't even understand this because what they don't see, they can't imagine.
Well said. So that's where I'm heading to anyway. So the well said. So if you take a holographic rose, yeah, hologram, if you cut in half, it doesn't become a two parts. It has actually become a two small complete roses. That is holographic property. So you keep on cutting the holographic rose. It keep on getting smaller, but it's even though it's smaller, this entire rose is still intact. So all the way you can go to all the way to the electron as all the information of the entire universe. So everything in our body, every cell has a body information about entire body. That's what Dr. Beatriz Olson is talking about. That are coming back. Let me coming back a little bit of physics. I don't need to spend too much time on it. It is the way they work on the holographic image. They take two beams. One beam goes straight to the film, the film that you photograph, and the other one is it goes to object and they interfere. That interference pattern is the one, the carpet looking the picture, it comes out. That is the interference pattern between the two beams. One is a real object, one is, imagine the regular one, light, it doesn't see. So holographic image is the interference pattern from the two light sources. That is the physics of it. I don't want to go too much into physics.
I want to stop you there for a second. I would like to say that the interference patterns is not just in physics, but it occurs in our minds. So I believe that our minds are capable of interfering with the full expression of our being based on how we think, how we act, and mindsets. And this happens in a minuscule level versus occurring in a grand level. So there's multiple implications of what you just said right now in terms of the imaging. Just don't think about how we think about ourselves. Think about the incredible potential that each human of us have if we look directly into the image and look at all of the interferences that our mind can have because of prior trauma, because of things that have happened to us that interfere with our capacity to really see the vision correctly. So I think that we're talking, interestingly, we're talking about the same physics are occurring in a biology, they're occurring in a psychological space, they're occurring in a conscious space, they're occurring in a physics space. If you take it to that level, we're replicating because we have a redundant system of expression.
Okay, very good. Well said. There is a now. I'm going to talk about the physics, a little bit physics part, but a little bit, not too much. Stephen Hawking has these all three famous scientists: Stephen Hawking, Carl Pilgrim, and Stephen Hawking is the physicist, famous physicist. He then Carl Pilgrim is a neurologist from Stanford. He died a long time ago. All of them died. David Bohm is a quantum physicist, a very well-known, legendary quantum physicist. They have a big problem. Stephen Hawking has a problem with the universe problem. The Carl Pilgrim has a problem with the brain. The quantum physicist has a problem with the reality itself. So I tell you what those problems are. They face the three of them, three different fields. They face different problems. In the Stephen Hawking situation, when black holes, the problem with the black hole is called information paradox. Black hole is when there is a black hole. If I throw my phone, it is gone. If I jump into the black hole, my information is forever erased. That is a information lost. Cannot be possible. Information paradox means that your existence itself there is no history of you. It's not just the lost information. History is your existence is completely taken out. That is a big no in our quantum physics. That is a big problem for the Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking is called information paradox. Everything can be lost, but one place that you cannot be lost. Is knowledge, information cannot be lost. That is the fundamental principle of physics. So information is, knowledge is divine, that he has to be preserved. That is, he had a problem with the big no-no. That is a big problem Stephen Hawking faced while he is working on the black holes. The second one is a quantum physics problem. It is a David Bohm's problem. It is that what is observer and observed. When you observe something like a chair, it is actually, quantum physics says that it doesn't exist if you don't observe it. Electrons don't exist. They appear as it needed. So that's a big conflict in a, how do you explain that? Is, Albert Einstein asked that, if I don't look at the moon, doesn't it exist? It doesn't. Yes, if you don't long enough, quantum physics says that if you don't look long enough, it doesn't exist. It's all in your.
So Raman, I'm going to add to this something that is
Okay.
very aligned in terms of our mind body work.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people suffer a lot because of dysfunctional thoughts. And they spend a lot of time focusing on looking at the chair. And the chair is broken.
Yes.
And they don't look someplace else. And the thing is, what's very interesting is what we observe exists and persists.
Yeah.
What we don't observe does not exist and doesn't hurt us. And it's the same principle, quantum principle, that is happening at a physics level, but it's actually happened at a biologic level, at the mind level. And it's very, very crucial that we understand that these things are very similar.
Absolutely. And so that is called a measurement problem. It's a very big problem in the quantum physics area. So the David Bohm, he had a problem, this problem. How do you solve this problem? What is then you have to inject the consciousness. Then Carl Pribram is a very legendary neurologist from Stanford, in the past, but he had a problem. What is strange? The problem is the brain. During the brain trauma, people get injured. Half of the brain is taken out. They don't remember if the half of the brain is taken. If you cannot remember, if you remember alphabets, they don't remember half of it. They remember everything. They can recite everything, not the half of the alphabets. That is a puzzling to the medical mystery for Carl Pribram at the time. Why I'm taking half of the brain away, still they can do all A to Z. That is a medical mystery for the Carl Pribram neurologist in Stanford. All of them faces some different fields face a problem, but there is a one very amazing universe. So universe, quantum physics, brain has a strange connection. That is one non-scientist. His name is Michael Talbot. Wrote a book. It is called Holographic Universe. He said that this is all these strangely separate fields are connected through holography. In Maya, holography is kind of a Maya. I'm going to explain to you in a minute. But it's what Michael Talbot, right? This holographic universe is. I read first of. I was so fascinated. He doesn't have any scientific background, but he wrote this book. His imagination, curiosity is amazing. He wrote this book, very, very popular book at the time. He wrote that book and saying that universe and quantum physics and brain have this strange connection with the holography. What is holograms I was talking about? So Stephen Hawking problem solved through holography with Juan Maldacena, Argentinian physicist, a very famous physicist from Princeton, where Einstein works. He's a MacArthur Genius Fellow. He's actually one of the well-respected among physicists. He was about to do Nobel Prize, in my view. I think he was one of the things. I don't know where he got it from. Maybe Argentina or Cuba. He read it. He studied something about Maya. He says that all this image, all the dimensions are what you see every day is actually projections. We are holographic universe. Universe itself is holographic principle. He incorporated that is one of the main principles now in physics. The Juan Maldasena's the principle is one of the most respected theory that people accept it. That is a very, very well known. Now the next one is I want to talk with you about that. So that is the Princeton professor. They solved that problem with holography. Quantum physics problem. David Baum, he was a friend of Jiddu Krishnamurti. He is from my hometown. He is close to my home state. He moved to Ojai, California. He's very close to Deepak Chopra's place at that time. Jiddu Krishnamurti was a predates Deepak Chopra. He was a philosopher. He's a very well-known guy, and he was a conversations. David Baum is a quantum physicist. He was expelled from the United States because they thought that he had some communist sympathy. So he was kicked out of the Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn. He was kicked out to England. He left. He left for England. He became a. Then he got married there and he died in England. But David Baum and then Jiddu Krishnamurti had a lot of conversations. You can watch on the YouTube all the videos. One of the things he came out is the best way to solve this problem is holography is maybe the common thing. He wrote a mathematical structure. It's called implicate and explicate order. Implicate order is every part contains the whole. Not we all know the whole thing contains the parts, but every part contains the whole. That is what he came up with the implicate order. That is the explicate order is thought. Thought itself is outsider. Is like a everyday experience. Is a not a real. It is just a feeling of that. It is a creation. But implicate one mind, implicate order is a one mind, is a every part as there is no separate parts. One part, everything it is. So
You
that
know, this reminds me interestingly of the concept of stem cells. As we're having a conversation, you as a physicist and me as a medical scientist,
yes,
and the idea that a cell is, I like the idea that you cut a rose in half and it becomes two new roses.
yeah,
And the idea that there is this incredible intelligence in one part of us, just one cell, is capable of creating everything that we can do.
correct,
And this is the unifying thing, that there is this redundancy for expression of the fullness of the universe that occurs at every expression of itself. It occurs in the human body, it occurs in different things, but it's happening right now. It's just that we don't identify it as being an expression of this incredible holographic experience that we're having. We're at a place. Think about Newtonian times versus Einstein time, how we can look at time differently when time doesn't exist, when time, anything can happen at any time, when it's the right time versus it has to be at this time or it's no time. This idea, I think this brings out the idea that we're flexible, expandable, we're like springs of information, and that's where we need to be now to be able to think at a different level of what we humans can accomplish. This is just so important, and I bring it back as in this conversation to you and me, as bringing it to the higher order of physics and the basic order of the human capacity and expression of who we are, of that consciousness.
great, absolutely. I'm bringing a biology into the picture now. Each neuron has what a call problem has a problem with the each neuron has all the memory. That's why they can recite all the A to Z. Trauma patients, even they taken half of the brain is taken away, they remember entire alphabets. The reason is what he proposes is that holographic principle, each part contains the whole. So each neuron has all the memory, every memory, only a question of retrieval. That is what came out. So all three great scientists agreed upon holography is the key to all of them. All of them are common thing. So every cell, this is called entire embryo contains. Now Dr. Olson is talking about. That's exactly she's talking about this one. Embryo containing information of the whole organism. It's a biology itself. ECO biology they call. It's a Chinese traditional medicine practices that. India is Maya and all those things that you do. Every cell has all the entire information. That is what it is. The ECO biology is a very, very practiced biology in the medicine in China, India, and other countries. Now she was talking about Dr. Olson is talking about the same thing. So stem cells, that is a so holography, acupuncture, if you do, that's why the ear It has all the information of the entire body. That's what they think all of acupuncture practices, the holography inside. That they say everything in the ear, they put the pins on the ear. They say it is a foot, it is a head, it is a brain. All of them are pins are representing a different parts of the ear, represents the entire body. That is a biology. It's actually they did pain and anxiety was reduced. This was done a blind study. They proved that that is actually did work in the pain, and they reduced the pain and anxiety to the people for this procedure, acupuncture. So the next one, if a brain is a computer, suppose say let us see a lot of I'm in Silicon Valley. Some people think brain is a computer. It's not true. If your brain is a computer, you need a 250 million megabytes of information has to be stored. 250 million gigabytes, sorry. 250 million gigabytes for one brain. 400 lifetimes of video stream you needed to one brain to remember everything in the process. If you wanted to translate the brain into the computer, impossible. One brain, 250 million gigabytes you need. So the power is required to brain. I can eat a sandwich and I can run and think about a lot of things. To do the same thing, a trillion connections, you need to work on the power. You need a Niagara Falls reactor. You need a entire power generation of the Niagara Falls. That is that difficult. So it's not simulating brain on the computer is not easy. Anybody says that is not that straightforward. We can simulate some parts of it. It's impossible to be same. Holograms can hold a massive data. That's one of the advantages of the holograms is it is a 2D storage. Instead of 2D storage, you do 3D storage. That's why all of them the brain function is a hologram. They suggest that because it can hold a massive data. That is because you can store in 3 dimensions, not the 2 dimensions that you see in the regular 2D pictures. That is the advantage of the hologram. Holograms can hold a massive data. That's the biggest advantage here. That's why. So brain can work as a hologram is that idea. So the solution is holography. All 3 scientists came from a different fields, but agreed upon that holography could be a solution. Something with a hologram is possible. So that is called. So traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, acupuncture, energy medicine, Dr. Olson is talking about, Reiki and pranic healing, they're all use energy medicine. These are all the holistic healing, holographic principle behind it, in fact. Mind and body practices, meditation, for example, all of them are connected to the holographic principle in general, overall, in the physics side of it. So
I think one of the sad things, actually, which is why I love mind body medicine and integrative medicine, is that it brings these ideas of the holographic experience into the healing space and allows for the possibility of transformation and innate healing by connecting to that single source that can bring you to the next space. And one of the sad things about conventional medicine, which I was originally trained with, is that it's very focused, very disease focused, and it doesn't consider that the mind and body are connected, or that there's a spiritual aspect to us that matters, and that the 3 of these parts actually matter to each other. Whereas it is alignment with that heals people faster. So that's actually where conventional medicine in the United States fails the concept of opening up to these greater past traditions that have thousands of years of brilliant experience. And that's the idea of actually integrative medicine, to bring this incredible gifts of universe and combine it to where you are. Talk about a hologram. Talk about the expanse of time and brilliance and information that can come into that space. How transformative is that in terms of what we can bring to people?
That's a nature's gift indeed. That is a nature's gift indeed. That is already there. Brain is holography They are using now in certain practices. Now they started it, just a lot of research is going on, and then frontiers of aging. And Dr. Olson, I want to talk with you about that. You're connected with the aging medicine. I talk about that. But in the aging medicine, they said that holography, you can use a roses, holographic roses, somehow that they improved their memory and cognitive functions, because our brain works like hologram. We are tuned with it. Very, very strange, yes, seems to be, but it does work. So tell me a little bit about aging medicine that you are connected with.
Yeah, so I truly believe that we can regulate how we age. There
Yeah.
is a there is a difference between our biologic aging and our chronologic aging. So that if you go, for example, to a high school reunion and you're 40 or 50 or 60, you're going to see people your same age that are much older than you and are much younger than what you look like.
Yeah.
And the question is, how is it that they can look biologically younger and actually possibly test in the same way and still be the same age? And it is possible to do that if you enter the space of the hologram. The space of the hologram is this incredible respect of the biology of where we are, the importance of knowing that our cells have incredible capacity for healing, and understanding that the body has unique requirements for it to exist in that space and expand the length of life that we have through unique characteristics. It is quite clear that meditators have measure 7 years younger than other people in terms of their capacity to handle things. So I think that it's not just it's how you live your life, but there's now supplements that we can use that slow down the aging clock or get rid of senescent cells. As we get older, we collect these old cells and we can get rid of them and decrease the inflammation from them and move forwards. So it has to do at a level, spiritual level, and connected levels to how we live our lives. And it's living within this hologram that you're talking about, is how expansive our minds are, how interconnected we are, how much we believe that each one cells of our bodies has the capacity to heal. How is it that we honor the biology of our bodies? How do we connect with others that makes a difference in our lives? This is a holographic universe. Perhaps other people are living my same life in a different space. Perhaps they're me expressing themselves in a different space at this point, but this is my journey that I'm living. But there may be someone exactly like me in a different space within this space that is doing something entirely different.
Yeah.
So I'm very open to this possibility of, while you look at me, I exist here. But maybe if you don't look at me, I'm not here, you know?
Correct. That's what it says. Quantum physics, holography, healthcare companies. The holography is becoming a part of the stream. Is a part of the healthcare system. These are three companies. They produce this holographic treatment and diagnosis and all those things. Educational, all those things they provide in the healthcare side. Holography companies, Echo Pixel, Zebra, and then the Deep Perception. All of them are very, very good. So you can go and visit them into the companies, what they do. But you know what? So one Maldacena was saying what that the Argentinian physicist is saying, universe as a hologram. So basically we are the holographic principle says universe as considered as a hologram. So we are the 3D projections of a two-dimensional images on the surface of the universe. So there is a movie playing on a cosmic film. We don't know who is object or subject is. We are probably object. There may be subject. They're playing and we are just dancing around the whatever they're playing on the universal surface of the universe. That is a projected as a three-dimensional. We are not really, we think we are in control. We are basically the projections of that, the three-dimensional to two-dimensional world. It is a That is one of the proposals of holographic principle proposal from the von Maldacena. It is a very, very powerful principle in the physics. In fact, universe as a hologram. So we may be some perception three-dimensional perception we have, who may not be real. So
I'm gonna add to that one thing. As someone who truly believes, as a doctor who has worked deeply in the patient physician space, sometimes you don't know what the right answer is for a patient. Okay, but when you're working together in this hologram, when the intention is to be seen together at one time and come to a solution, it's incredibly powerful
yeah,
because new solutions come out of this space of connectedness within that space. People don't see this, but actually, there are random interactions, but there are interactive interactions that actually multiply in the ability to express themselves. So I believe that this energetic space of expression is really present with us, and that it can be utilized to harness transformation in our connections with each other. If we truly believe that we're an expression of this, it's like Indra's net. We're all part of this experience. No one is in control until intention happens. And then intention creates a unifying force that creates an outcome that takes you to the different level. So within this space, all things can happen that can be transformative. And it's all explained within the space of holograms.
yes. So you said very well. Actually, holograms, because that we are holograms, sometimes one of the argument is that it could be we are the remissions, cancer remission, or some miracles reversing the disease is possible because they're all images. That's all it is. So that's what one of the arguments in the physicists, some areas of science at least talk about that at least. That's a good part. And all not because of the images, you can jump in anywhere, anything, anywhere, do. So it's what he's saying is holography is talking about the Maya. Hindu Maya is I grew up with the Hinduism, and that Maya is a center stage in that one. I used to watch a lot of Indian movies. They're all Mayas are very, very epicenter for our Bhagavad Gita and all those places. Though Maya is an illusion is created by our perceptions. Is a thought is imperfect, it creates illusion of reality. But what some people, as Dr. Olson is talking about, some people can see beyond that. One of them is Michael Talbot. He saw that he's a gay man. He came to San Francisco and died in 1982. But he wrote this book, Michael Holographic Universe, as imagination, curiosity, thus can create insights into that powerful knowledge that what Dr. Olson is talking about. So let me bring her back to thank you for watching. Let me bring her to the main stage. So that let us say that yes. So it's a very aligned to your ideas, that holographic theory. Can you hear me?
Say that again, Romana.
It is aligned to your holographic theory. Your ideas are all very close to that holographic
Yeah,
theory.
I really think that this is a very important discussion, but this really talks about the expression of who we are and how we exist, and how we're not one thing. We're an expression of a huge experience within a space, an expression of a time. We're part of it. And that's why I truly believe in the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing. The work that we're doing is about transforming thought,
Yeah.
and really having people think at higher consciousness of who are we? Why are we here? How do we interact? How do we exist? And how can we expand our impact in our presence in the time that we have to bring greater thought to the universe? And we have to have these discussions. And I kind of enjoy very much, because I love the quantum theories. I like the idea of holographic experiences. It goes together with this greater wholeness of who we are. We are one, we are whole. Any part of us is everything, everything is us. So
Beautiful.
that's what it is.
Well said. I cannot explain better than that. That is really we are reflection of that wholesomeness is there. And you're I want to ask you, to reach you, Beatriz also, what is your book, Mind Body Secrets? Is available on Amazon? Is it
Yep.
available
Yeah, Mind Body Secrets by Dr. Beatriz Olson. And I'm very proud of this book.
Okay. Oh, very good. But it must be. I definitely read parts of it. Then we can, saw your synopsis on that one. And then she is talking about how she failed before 100 people. And so failure, she accepted. That's a very, even for me, it helps me, what I went through, really that kind of a stage, that's really good. Thank you so much. Thank you for, it's truly an honor to talk with you. We keep, sorry about the technical problem. I never had these problems, but holographic Maya is giving some problem for us, but that is, we consider the Maya. So we will solve that problem. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation with you. You're a deep thinker, in my view, one of the very few doctors that think beyond that, just thinking about medicine and treating people. You're if it is a really truly an honor to talk with you.
It is an honor to talk to you, and I also thank you for the beautiful compliment you just gave me.
Thank you so much. All good night, guys. Well, we tried to, just some sorry for the technical problems today, but I'll be back on next Wednesday in the live, and it's going to be very interesting. So thank you, Dr. Wilson, and thank you all for joining us.
Telling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.